Hey everybody, welcome back to another trip report. Today we are flying from Budapest back to Los Angeles on Lufthansa Economy via Frankfurt. We start out our journey here at the Budapest airport at roughly 4:30 in the morning. We took a bus, which was quite convenient from the city center, and eventually once we were inside the terminal, as you can see here now, it was crazy full with lots of people for the early morning bank flights to various European hubs. We checked in for our Lufthansa flight using the Star Alliance Gold lane, which is also the business class / first class lane, and it was very easy. We didn't actually have to wait in that long line, which was very nice. You could see those are the lanes right there where we checked in. After we checked in, security was pretty quick, and eventually we were looking inside the terminal here, which is actually quite nice and very new, I think. But overall, very nice, very spacious, very airy. We highly enjoyed it. And then I went to go look at the departure board here. As you can see that there are lots of flights here early in the morning in and around Europe, as well as to Tel Aviv and Istanbul. And then we went to go find our lounge. Our gate was actually I think A2, if I remember correctly. And the lounge is just around the corner here. So this lounge was, I think, called the Platinum Service Lounge. It was a lounge, or it is a lounge for various airlines, as you can see there. Once we got inside, it was actually quite small, especially for the amount of people that were trying to use it. Here was kind of the little bar area that they had coffee, cereal, and other drinks. And then I waited patiently in line because I wanted to get a shot of all the food for you guys. Various cold cuts, breads. They had some hot plates right here, and that was basically some hot beans and some hot sausages early in the morning. Those other trays weren't full, I'm pretty sure. And then just kind of various fruits and pastries and stuff. Overall, it was okay. It wasn't amazing compared to some other lounges that you can find. But we found kind of a nice little quiet place to sit. And as you can see here, there are lots of people using this lounge early in the morning. It was very, very full, like I mentioned, and it was continuing to get full as the morning wore on. So after spending about 45 minutes in the lounge, we then went to our gate, which was A2, like I mentioned previously. Today we are flying on this Lufthansa A321. The registration number of the plane is D-AISO, which was about a 14-year-old A321-200. And as you can see here were the boarding groups that they had mentioned, and as well as the view of our gate. So after boarding, here is the seat, the leg room, adequate for about slightly over an hour flight, and just kind of now your standard European domestic economy short haul flight. I had a nice view of the engine from my window, and eventually we had a very, very short taxi and takeoff from runway 31 left, 31L. So after a relatively short flight, a flight that I actually slept the whole time, I didn't even partake in any of the service, we eventually lined up and we landed on runway 07 left here at Frankfurt.
Bitte bleiben Sie noch so lange angeschnallt sitzen, bis wir unsere endgültige Parkposition erreicht haben und die Anscheinzeichen.
One of my favorite things about Frankfurt's airport, as well as Munich and some other airports around Europe, is that a lot of the time airlines utilize hard stands, so it was awesome to park at a hard stand, deplane, get a wonderful shot of our A321 before boarding a bus, which would take us then back into the terminal.
Dear passengers, welcome to Frankfurt Airport. In just a few minutes we will arrive at Terminal 1. To receive your luggage, please follow the signs for baggage claim. If you are booked on a Lufthansa connecting flight and still need a boarding pass, please go to the next Lufthansa service counter.
So once we got back into the terminal, we started making our way over to the Z gates. We first had to clear some passport control and go all the way up the escalators to the top floor, which is the Z gates. And we were making our way over to the lounge, and on the way over to the lounge, I got a glimpse of one of the last remaining Boeing 747-400s flying in the world today for passenger flights, which was awesome to see, and then eventually made it here to the Lufthansa Senator Lounge up in the Z gates. So after waiting in line to get into the lounge, we were greeted by this wonderful Lufthansa 747-8 model, as well as a very nice, spacious lounge, huge lounge. Definitely the nicest Lufthansa Senator lounge that I've used, and much nicer than the lounge that I used in my previous video from when we flew from Los Angeles to Rome via Frankfurt. And overall, just a very, very nice lounge, huge amount of food options. Lots of places to sit, and also just fantastic views of the tarmac and of all the heavies that are there preparing for their flights, mostly to North America. So after showing you guys kind of how big the lounge is, I wanted to kind of walk the length of it, show you kind of the views from the windows a little bit. And I mean, you could see all the way down there. That's where the entrance is. I went and started browsing the food options. First thing was first, I needed a coffee because it was roughly about 9 a.m. here, and we had been up since 3:30 in the morning. The coffee area was very nice, fully stocked. They had juices as well as teas and all sorts of little things that anybody could want. And overall, just great offerings here at this Senator Lounge. Also, alongside coffee, they had breads and jams. They had some hot plates here. They had some eggs, some sausage. The sausages were very good. All sorts of brezens and other different types of pastries that you could want. And really just overall very good hot food options. They had some yogurts, they had some cold cuts, they had kind of anything that you could want for breakfast in the morning, along with things that anybody at any time of the day may want, to be quite honest with you. They had alcohol, they had soft drinks, they had beer. So Lufthansa really has a lot of stuff here in this Senator Lounge, again, up in the Z-Gate area. I highly recommend, if anybody's able to use it, to check it out, because I mean it just went on and on and on, and I kind of wanted to document everything for you guys to see here. So I kind of wanted to try a lot of things, but this is one plate I had. I had some cold cuts, one of those sausages there. I tried a little bit of the eggs, which were okay, and I had a brezen. And then I just kind of wanted to give you guys another panning shot from our seat there. I obviously sat near a window because I wanted to do some plane spotting. But overall, very nice, big, spacious lounge. Lots of people in it, but it didn't feel super full. Probably, obviously, because it's very spacious. But then the time had come, and we had to eventually leave because boarding for our flight was starting in about 15 minutes. As we were walking towards our gate, I got a glimpse of a Lufthansa A340-300, as well as a United 777-200ER, as well as a 747-8 in front of us. And here's another Lufthansa 747-8. This yet was not our plane. Our plane was a few gates down. Overall, the Z gates are actually very nice. They had kind of like this little indoor Biergarten over there. And just Lufthansa has done a very good job overall with this area. And finally, here's our gate. This is our 747-8 here today, taking us to Los Angeles. The registration of our plane is D-ABYL, which is a 9-year-old Lufthansa 747-8. It was delivered back in January of 2014. And, you know, always awesome flying on big, huge Boeing 747s. And it's a pity that the 747-400s are now going away, but, you know, we got to do what we can, right? But overall, here she is. She's getting ready for our roughly 10-hour, 45-minute flight back to LA, which is pretty normal for this length. Eventually boarding started, and in a very un-German, disorganized way, Lufthansa kind of just let everybody on the plane. One of the things I love about Frankfurt's airport is that their jetways are glass, and so we get a nice view of our 747-8 as we are boarding. Finally, here is our seat. Again, we're in 29K, the same seat that I had on the way there. Adequate legroom for a flight of this length. We got lucky that nobody was in the middle seat, so we had a free seat in between us. Kind of obviously an older interior. It's 10 plus years old now, but I'm there for the plane, obviously. And so here's just kind of a view of our window. Here's a view of the headrest. It's adjustable, which is nice, so you can pop that in or out. And then eventually we lined up on runway 7C here at Frankfurt to begin our 10-hour and 45-minute flight to Los Angeles. Roughly an hour after we were airborne, they came around with a drink, and then they came around with our lunch option. I chose the chicken, which was very good. It had some vegetables with it. It came with a little cheese right there, as well as a piece of butter, a cold bread roll per usual, a little tubula salad right there, as well as a piece of cake, which was very good. Overall, love to see the metal cutlery back, and overall, it was actually a very good meal. I really liked it, actually. So here's where we were roughly 2.5 hours into the flight, kind of making our way up to Iceland. And then eventually we got close to Iceland, and we had some very nice views outside of the right side of the plane here as we were approaching the kind of the southeastern coast of Iceland. So enjoy kind of the next few clips. I just got some kind of nice shots of us flying over Iceland. Alrighty, so shortly after Iceland, we were then approaching Greenland, and this is kind of us approaching from the eastern side of Greenland, and again, some other fantastic views of the landscape of Greenland, and so just kind of enjoy the next few clips, just very, very beautiful landscapes here in Greenland. About an hour or so after Greenland, we were then finally in Canada's Northwestern Passages as we were making our way about halfway through our flight to Los Angeles. And eventually Lufthansa came around with kind of a little beverage / chocolate service halfway through the flight. I opted for a glass of tea, and they also gave me this nice chocolate. So about 4 hours after being up in the Northwestern Passages, we're now over Salt Lake City, Utah, roughly an hour and 10 minutes from landing, and just kind of a beautiful view of Salt Lake City and kind of the area around it. Shortly after being over Salt Lake City, Utah, Lufthansa came around and provided us with a pre-landing meal. I got the one with a yogurt, one with kind of a chocolate wafer bar, as well as a sandwich, which was good. I do miss the hot meals, I must say. And then eventually, after a descent, we were lined up here, going through the thick marine layer, and eventually we landed on runway 24 right here at LAX. I again want to thank you guys for watching my video. I do have more videos coming in the future, so please like, subscribe, and leave me some comments, and any helpful tips, anything you guys like to see, please let me know. But again, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
landed in Los Angeles, möchten wir Sie jetzt bitten, auch so lange angeschnallt sitzen zu bleiben, bis wir hier unsere endgültige Parkposition erreicht haben und die Anschnallzeitgewinne ausgeschaltet worden sind. Im Namen von Kapitän Bobit und der gesamten Besatzung möchten wir uns jetzt hier von Ihnen verabschieden. Wir haben Sie gerne heute ein Stück auf Ihrer Reise begleitet und wünschen Ihnen jetzt einen schönen Aufenthalt hier in Los Angeles oder gegebenenfalls eine sichere und vor allem schöne Weiterreise. Wir würden uns freuen, Sie recht bald wieder hier an Bord begrüßen zu dürfen und wünschen Ihnen jetzt alles Gute. Passen Sie auf sich auf und auf Wiedersehen. Landed in Los Angeles, we kindly ask you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until we have reached our final parking position and the seatbelt sound above you has been switched off. On behalf of Captain Bobit and the entire crew, we would like to say thank you for being our guests on this Lufthansa Starlines flight today. It was a pleasure to be part of your journey today, and we wish you now a nice stay here in Los Angeles for a safe and comfortable onward journey.